I feel the need to make some things clear to True Empiricism in regards to his most recent video that someone last night brought to my attention, because I just don't think Ronnie is quite understanding the situation here. I am going to seriously try to explain, simply, calmly, and without invective, and in basic prose, so that I can ensure the highest chance that what I'm about to say will be fully understood by Ronnie, in no uncertain terms. 1. Please do not refer to me as an atheist. I am not an atheist in the atheist community. I am an agnostic who is generally well received by the atheist in the atheist community as an ally against young earth creationism, bad theistic arguments, and scientific illiteracy, while at the same time promoting actual science, reason, and a basic form of skepticism against all forms of pseudoscience and unscientific conjecture such as intelligent design. I have never once ever referred to myself as an atheist, not on YouTube, not on Facebook, not even in real life. If you cannot even correctly get my theological position correct, then you really have no basis for trying to extend to me an olive branch. Perhaps you should first try to start by understanding what I actually believe, not what you think that I do, or by assigning me a theological position that I do not subscribe to. 2. None of your videos have ever offended me or bothered me in any way whatsoever, with the sole exception of the one that I did ask you to take down, simply because it contained gross misinformation about my health. And to your credit, you did remove that video, which I would have done the same had I had a video misrepresenting your medical condition, or anyone else's for that matter. Be that said, I have never found any of your videos offensive, beyond that of just perhaps being filled with insolence, arrogance, impertinence, and what seems to be a lack of foundational understanding of some pretty basic scientific concepts. But those do not make your videos offensive in the way that I believe that you are using that word. We record your videos, and most are archived. So what would make you think that I would ever want you to remove any of them? They are a timeline, a history of your gaffes, to prevent historical revisionism that we keep for record keeping and posterity. So for those of us who join us in the future, they will not be fooled by your continual attempts to rewrite history. 3. There are so many unresolved issues and claims that you have made that you continue to this day to misrepresent and just completely lie about. For example, you claim that Lance Renew and Dr. Fuzrana both agreed with you about DNA going to solution meaning the same as degrade, something that anyone who has ever listened to either of them knows is an outright lie. It would be quite easy to have you ask either of them in a hangout if they agree with you. But we both know you'll never want to do that, as we both know what they would say, that they do not. The mistakes with the whole DNA and water fiasco was just one conceptual problem after another, compounded by the fact that you really didn't understand the DNA molecule, or its bonds at all. When multiple experts, including PhDs, tell you that you have something so very basic, so very wrong, the correct, reasonable response is to try to ascertain why you may be wrong. Ask to be explained what does happen when DNA goes in solution. Humble yourself and realize that you are not the expert, nor do you possess any form of expertise. You have never taught any scientific subject, nor have you ever been challenged to really demonstrate a proficiency in any scientific area. While an education does not by any means make someone inherently correct, it does by its very nature give them a greater insight into topics that they have studied. Now, one should not be afraid to challenge experts on things that they do say, as even experts can make the occasional mistake, which can usually be recognized and corrected very quickly. However, that does not make you an expert, nor does it make you more knowledgeable than the expert. In the great debate community, we are constantly correcting each other, which is why we are growing in our knowledge, and you simply are not. We recognize our misspeaks, our mispronunciations, and often make light of them. Or in some cases, we're just plain wrong. But until you're able to recognize that you are simply wrong on basic things, what else would you have us do, besides mock you for being so incredibly wrong on things that are quite elementary? Other examples would be your misunderstanding of human chromosome number 2 fusion site, that aqueous solutions all consist of water, that various measurement systems won't change the value of pi, Nor is the value of pi any different than the value it was 2,000 years ago in biblical times. Or your confusion about solipsism, evolution, common descent, binary code, logical fallacies. Well, you get the point. 4. The Ronnies were planned, if I recall, sometime way back during the beginning of the year, to be the penultimate award ceremony just prior to the Dumbfuck of the Year award. It is much like the Oscars, where the awards are going to be giving out for various categories, simply and purely for entertainment purposes. I personally have stated numerous times without reservation that part of my channel is for the lulz, from people that I believe are worthy of ridicule for the things that they do or say, simply because they show no remorse, no empathy, no honor, no integrity, and no willingness to learn things properly. Qualities exemplified by members of what we refer to as the clunker posse. There is a reason why we have labeled a group of individuals by this pejorative. It is simply because they all possess a very similar belief that they understand things that they simply do not, while without hesitation using dishonesty to maintain that illusion. This includes things like blocking people from commenting on their videos, from live chats, or from G+, as well as removing comments and attempting to change history, such as editing comments on forums and various posts. So long as these practices are in place by members of the CCP, then I personally see no reason why I should not be entertained by their comments and videos, since most of us have no other means to respond to them anyways, since most of us have been blocked from preventing our refutations on their videos or their posts. 5. Ronnie, last but not least, if you take away anything from this video, please take away this. You are a lulzcow to many people, not because your arguments are good, not because you have an argument we cannot show why you're wrong on. It is not because you're smarter than us, more knowledgeable than us, or understand science better than us, or for whatever reason you have convinced yourself why we say or do the things that we do. It is simply because you're not just usually wrong, you're usually potato. However, I will make some concessions on my end from here on out to eliminate personal insults as much as possible, as I do find them unproductive. I personally much would rather attack every single one of your arguments point by point and show everyone that you have no actual argument, just like I did in our debate. I can refute your entire DNA and water fiasco, your human chromosome number 2 fiasco, your intelligent design arguments. You name it, and if it is something that I am familiar with, then I would be more than happy to calmly pick apart your argument bit by bit to demonstrate that your argument is flawed. But I will never go into any of your hangouts to do this. The reason being is that you have simply shown time after time again that you lack the ability to have an actual conversation without resorting to mod control. However, my room is always open for pretty much anyone to join, and nothing has ever stopped you from ever coming in and trying to show everyone that your arguments have merit. I welcome the opportunity for you to join us and explain some of your many positions from which you have not made very clear to us before. When you're willing to do that, I am willing to confront those arguments head on, just like I did in our debate. I will be more than civil without condemnation or insult. And I honestly do enjoy destroying your arguments. The ball is in your court, Ronnie. If you want to play ball and actually discuss your arguments, that's fine. But if you just want to sit on the sideline and scream that you're right without demonstrating that you actually are, that is fine too. It's your call.